Have you ever held a coin and wondered what secrets it might carry? A coin so ordinary that millions pass it from hand to hand, yet so extraordinary that myths swirl around its history. Whispers of hidden value echo through marketplaces, and collectors hunt for it in auctions across the world. This is the story of the 1 dirham coin of 1423 to 2002, a simple piece of metal that holds within it the rise of a nation, the dreams of workers, and the fascination of numismatists. Tonight, we journey into its myths, its history, and its value today, uncovering the tale of how one small coin can mean so much more than its face value. To understand the 2002 dirham, we must begin centuries earlier. The word dirham itself traces back to the ancient Greek drachma, a currency that spread eastward during the time of Alexander the Great. By the 7th century, during the rise of Islam, the dirham became a silver coin struck across the caliphates, from Damascus to Baghdad, from Cairo to Andalusia. The dirham was not just money. It was a symbol of faith, empire, and culture. On its surface were engraved the Sharada, Quranic verses, and the names of caliphs. For centuries, it traveled along the Silk Road, through bazaars, in the hands of merchants, scholars, and pilgrims. Fast forward to the 20th century, as modern states emerged. Across the Middle East, the dirham was revived as a national currency. In 1973, just 2 years after the United Arab Emirates was founded, the UAE dirham replaced the Qatar and Dubai rial. It was pegged to the International Monetary Fund's special drawing rights, and later fixed to the US dollar at 3.6725 dirhams. The dirham became more than just money. It became a marker of a new nation's identity, stable, strong, and globally connected. Every coin minted was a small ambassador of the Emirate story. The year *** 1423 in the Islamic calendar, 2002 in the Gregorian calendar, marked a fascinating moment for the UAE. Oil wealth had already transformed the desert into cities of glass and steel. Dubai was preparing for its meteoric rise as a global hub. Abu Dhabi had cemented itself as the capital of stability and political power. 2002 was also a year of milestones. The world was reeling from the aftershocks of the September 11th attacks, and the UAE was rapidly modernizing its banking system, tightening financial regulations, and preparing for a globalized economy. The 1 dirham coin minted in this year became part of this broader picture. While seemingly ordinary, it circulated at a time when the UAE was redefining itself. It was the coin of the taxi driver navigating newly built roads, the shopkeeper selling groceries in old souks, the expatriate worker collecting change for a phone card to call home. In short, the 1423 to 2002 dirham was the coin of everyday life in a nation on the cusp of global transformation. The design of the UAE's 1 dirham coin has remained remarkably consistent since its introduction. On one side, the denomination written in elegant Arabic script, 1 dirham. On the other, the nation's emblem, a falcon with wings spread, clutching a disc that bears a traditional Arab sailing vessel, the dhow. But the 2002 issue carried subtle differences. The date, both in Hijri, 1423, and Gregorian, 2002, marked its place in history. The minting quality, depending on where the coins were produced, gave slight variations in tone and finish. Interestingly, not all UAE dirhams were minted domestically. Many were struck abroad, in the United Kingdom at the Royal Mint, in Canada, and even in France. This outsourcing gave rise to small variations that collectors today examine with fascination. It is this blend of symbolism and subtlety that makes the dirham design so iconic. The falcon reflects heritage, strength, and the UAE's desert culture. The dhow recalls its maritime history, pearl diving, trade, and seafaring routes. Together, they tell the story of a nation bridging tradition and modernity. But where there is money, there are always myths, and the 2002 dirham is no exception. One myth claims that certain 2002 dirhams were struck in silver, a rumor fueled by their shinier than usual appearance. In reality, they were made of the same copper-nickel alloy as other issues. Another rumor insists that a handful of 2002 dirhams were magnetic, a property supposedly linked to counterfeit detection. While some coins did show slight magnetic reactions due to variations in minting alloy, none were truly made of steel. Perhaps the most enduring myth is that misstruck 2002 dirhams, coins with off-center strikes or double impressions, were secretly withdrawn from circulation and are now worth small fortunes. While rare errors do exist, most sell in auctions for under a few $100s. Still, these myths gave the coin an aura of mystery. Among expatriates, tales spread that the silver dirham of 2002 could pay a month's rent if sold to the right collector. Among workers in souks, stories grew that magnetic dirhams were cursed and would bring bad luck. And so, the myths became part of the dirham's folklore. Small stories that made an everyday coin seem extraordinary. The 2002 dirham was minted in large numbers, though exact figures remain closely guarded by the central bank of the UAE. What is known is that most of these coins were produced abroad, primarily in the UK and Canada. Circulation dirhams often bore small differences in edge thickness, shine, and durability depending on the minting facility. Over time, these differences gave birth to niche collector markets, with some valuing Canadian strikes slightly higher than British strikes. For most people, however, the dirham was just daily change, used to buy carrot tea, a pack of gum, or to feed a parking meter. Its heavy circulation meant that few coins survived in pristine condition. Today, finding an uncirculated 2002 dirham is far rarer than finding one worn smooth from years of use. The dirham has always been more than money. It has been a part of daily rituals. In 2002, you could ride a Dubai taxi for just a few dirhams. A shawarma cost 3 dirhams. A phone card for international calls cost 10. For expatriates, especially workers from South Asia, the dirham was the bridge between life in the UAE and their families back home. Coins collected in pockets each day eventually transformed into remittances. Lifelines sent to villages in India, Pakistan, the Philippines, and beyond. For Emiratis, the dirham was a mark of sovereignty, a reminder that the young nation had built a stable economy and its own identity. And for children, the 1 dirham coin was the currency of treats, ice creams, arcade games, and snacks. Every generation remembers its own connection to the coin. So what is the 2002 dirham worth today? For most, its value is still 1 dirham, about $0.27 US. Circulated coins, worn from daily use, hold little numismatic premium. But in the world of collectors, condition is everything. An uncirculated 2002 dirham, crisp, untarnished, and mint bright, can fetch between $2 and $10. Proof sets issued in 2002, often housed in central bank presentation cases, may sell for $100 or more. Then there are the rarities. Error coins, with off-center strikes, clipped edges, or double impressions, have appeared in auctions, sometimes reaching $50 to $200, depending on severity and rarity, compared to early dirham issues from 1973, or commemorative coins of the 1980s. The 2002 coin is not especially rare, but it carries a unique charm, precisely because it is still within living memory, still circulating, yet old enough to spark curiosity. In short, while you may not become rich by finding one in your change, the 1423 to 2002 dirham remains a collectible for those who treasure history, stories, and myths. Why does a coin so common still attract attention? The answer lies in symbolism. The year 2002 marked a turning point, the UAE, stepping onto the global stage, preparing for a future of skyscrapers, tourism, and international business. For many, holding the coin is like holding a memory of that moment. Collectors of Islamic calendar coins are also drawn to its dual dating, 1423 and 2002, a reminder of the coexistence of tradition and modernity. And finally, there is nostalgia. For expatriates who lived in the UAE in the early 2000s, this coin is more than money. It is a souvenir of a life chapter, a token of years spent working, dreaming, and building futures. What can we learn from the story of the 1 dirham coin of 1423 to 2002? First, that coins are not just currency, they are storytellers. They speak of nations, economies, and cultures. Second, that myths often grow around the most ordinary things, transforming them into objects of mystery. And finally, that value is not always measured in dollars or dirhams. Sometimes, value lies in the memories a coin holds, the stories it carries, and the hands through which it has passed. The 1 dirham coin of 1423 to 2002 may never make headlines for record-breaking auction sales, but it deserves a place in history as a witness to a nation's rise, a keeper of myths, and a humble artifact of everyday life. So next time you find a dirham in your pocket, look closely. It may not make you rich, but it connects you to a story larger than yourself. And who knows? Maybe, just maybe, you're holding a piece of history waiting to be rediscovered.